Now we're going. What's up? What's up? I'm just tweeting this out. Man, am I going to lose my voice now? Just let you guys talk the whole time.
Oh, shoot.
Are we live here? Oh, snap.
What's that?
We live right now?
We are. Do you need me to...
Nah. I mean, no.
You've always had a wrench, Kevin. Alright. Well, we're live, but... Oh, what's going on here? That definitely was not your fan, it was mine. Or is mine.
So I'm freezing for no reason?
Yep, so you can turn it back on. Go ahead and turn it back on, man.
Okay.
Yeah, dog.
Okay. Whoa, what is that noise?
Was that my fan now?
Oh, now I hear it. We didn't hear it before. Did you guys hear it?
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
Alright, y'all figuring that out? Look, I'm gonna bring you some water real quick.
What's up, chat? All right. So, Zooey, how you doing, man?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Just had a long day of work, and yeah, had to take my little girl to cheerleading practice.
Nice.
You know, doing the father stuff.
Yep, that's the way it is, man.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Awesome.
Welcome, and today, the MTG Symposium. We have awesome guests, and I'd like to go around. And Kevin is always with us from Rogue Deck Builder. Today, our guests. First, I want to talk about Magic with Zuby. He is a member of the 10th Street Hooligans over on They Said, She Said, or He Said. We said. They said, we said. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And you also have your own podcast, Magic with Zuby, both on YouTube, iTunes, and where else? I know it's
iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio.
Nice, nice.
Is where it's on.
And then also today joining us is Jody, MF Keith, Magic Fest, the dude that just tears things up at SCG recently. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, baby. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So everybody is just having some fun playing Guilds of Ravnica. Let's go around and let's just talk about how you guys feel. Did you guys get any of the footage, or excuse me, the coverage on the playoff today? So today started the festivities for the Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica, and today was the playoff for the Player of the Year. What do you guys think? Did you guys check any of that out?
I definitely saw a bunch of the footage. I saw what was it? I think like the last two games with Lewis playing, or Louise. Is it Lewis or Louise? I don't know.
I think it's Lewis, right?
I think it's Is it Louis?
But he
Neither?
yeah, so it looks like they were playing a sort of best of one format where you only play one deck, and if you win with that deck, you can't play that deck again. And it's very similar to what Hearthstone does when they're doing their kind of tournament structure. So the last two games I saw was Louise was on White Weenie, and Seth Manfield had Boros Weenie, and he lost against that. Louise lost against that. And then what was it? Seth Manfield was playing, I think, Mono Red, against it, and then Louise just freaking came at him with way too many creatures and lived through all the burn of Seth Manfield and just won very easily.
Yeah, I mean, he had the nut draw, right? He had
oh my god,
he had 2 histories, and then he slammed down with the Loxodon, and it was just like over.
Yeah, he had 2 Banalish Marshals and then Loxodon at the last part, and just it was straight up ridiculousness.
Yeah, and then I think he grabbed one of the Phoenixes with the Conclave Tribunal, and yeah, it was just oh man, it was crazy.
It was nasty.
How about you, Kev, Jody?
Think I watch pro stuff?
I didn't think so, but you know.
Later Magic's already accusing me of trying to be a pro tryhard. Can't let him win.
Not rogue enough for you, Kev.
No, I just been busy. Man, this Masters 25 has been crazy. So, trying to fulfill orders, make sure everyone's taken care of, and it has been a headache back and forth with trying to get as much information as I can about the stupid set. So.
Oh, do you mean the Ultimate Masters?
Ultimate Masters, what did I say? Masters 25? Ultimate?
Yeah. I'm thinking, is that making a comeback?
No. you can still get that at cost, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, who can keep track of them all? I was streaming today, so I missed it. But some people jumped in the chat and was telling me what was going on. It's kind of interesting because I think this is like the only second time that there's ever been a playoff for Player of the Year. You know, they have to have tied amount of pro points, right? That's, I mean, you think it couldn't happen or it wouldn't happen. So this is the second time. Last time was like 2010, I think, with Brad Nelson and Guillaume Matignon.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce that. And then, yeah, that I guess is a different format now. I think before, I don't know if they played different formats or I don't even know what the format was. I'm not even watching the Pro Tour. It's funny because, just basically the way that the pro structure is and the way that you qualify, it just doesn't appeal to me. Like, once they got rid of the old PTQ rules, I don't like going to PPTQs, to go play in an RPTQ. I miss the old qualifying structure. So I've been on the Pro Tour in the last few years, but keeping up with the pro scene, it's not really something that I'm super into. For being a pro player, I guess some people would say I'm a pro player, but I guess I'm more of a Star City Games pro, because I like that circuit a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's funny too, like, and you talk about like the pro structure now, and I find it interesting in how much they've changed it, even just in the last year. It just almost I don't know, me trying to chase to get into the Pro Tour almost is starting to make me feel like, why don't I just go play SCG? Because SCG seems like it's just much better.
Yeah, well, if you're east of the Mississippi River, it's a lot easier to play and get coverage. Like, if you're trying to make a name for yourself as a player, they really are good about repping the players that play on their tour. I'll go to a Grand Prix and I'll have to be like 12-1 to get a feature match. And it's like, if I'm like have a winning record, I'm on camera at Star City. So they do take care of the players that play on it. And there's been like kind of like this look down upon this, I don't know a good word for it, but like from the pro scene, there's been a lot of hand waves at, oh wow, you play on the Star City or whatever, but it's
because it doesn't have a lot of big names too on the Star City, so they just snub their nose at it.
They do. It used to be a lot better when they had the player championships. See, there's not a real reason to grind it year long, because what you acquire, these points, it doesn't really redeem for much.
I thought they were bringing that back next year. The
yes.
Championship.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back, and then a lot of people don't like team events, and Star City runs one. Like, I think most of the opens that I go to are team opens, just because I like playing Legacy, and so they feature more Legacy, which I enjoy. So, it just fits better for me. I tried chasing Magic 25, the Pro Tour. I was, a little disappointed. I went to 3 different countries to try and grind silver so I can play Legacy at the Pro Tour. You know, because I like a Legacy master. That's all. I
Yeah.
play Legacy more than anything else. People know me for playing Legacy. And, like, anytime I'm on a team, they won't let me play Modern. I don't care if I got the best Modern deck in the world. You got to play Legacy. So, you know, I really wanted to play on that Pro Tour, and then it fell through on the Silver. And, you know, so, I mean, who knows if it's going to be back on the Pro Tour. So I grind the Star City. I like the Legacy. You know, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, and you know, I think too, like, you know, I was just going back to thinking about the Luis thing, but the most insane thing about the Luis tying to get into this playoff was he ground out, like, I think 6 events in a row in, like, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 different countries. Like, it was insane. Like, he just chased it so hard. It was just crazy how he got there.
Yeah, he's from South America, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went down there for a Grand Prix in Brazil. I think it was 4th of July weekend, and I remember seeing him out there. But those guys have it tough down there to be able to. I mean, there was like 1 Grand Prix a year. I had like a guy who's been watching my content since 2011. He's been following me before I even made content, and he was like, every year he's like, man, come to the Grand Prix in Brazil. And I'm like, look at these flights. It's like $1,200. You know? I would love to be in Brazil, and then I finally went, but I was like, man, if I lived down there, I wouldn't be able to go to Grand Prix but once a year, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a big feat for that guy. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So I did a couple of polls. Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica starts tomorrow. It's gonna be very crazy. They brought the team format back, which I don't completely understand. Totally. I don't know if you guys know too much about it, but I didn't do any research on it because I'm not really interested in understanding it. But I was either of you guys know what the team format is like for the Pro Tour? No.
No,
Okay.
I didn't even know they were doing
Format
format.
Pro Tour.
That just shows how awesome they are at advertising.
Yeah.
I can take this one. I can take this one.
Oh, okay.
The pro players don't know what team format is. Listen, I was on the Pro Tour, like I top 8 at Grand Prix, so I queued for Ixalan, which is like the first one of that pro year, last year, the first Pro Tour of that year. And I had to be on a team if I wanted to be on a team. I didn't even know about it. Showed up at the Pro Tour, they had people handing each other shirts to be on their team, and didn't know the way it worked, like adding to the roster, you know, players getting removed from the roster. And I was trying to be on a Pro Tour team. I had a Pro Tour team last year, actually. Goon Squad was a Pro Tour team. And it was just like, at the time I was being sponsored by a local shop, 504 MDG, but I had the Goon Squad, which is my stream community, and I had a logo, right? And this group of pro players wanted to form a team, and I was going to be on it, and then it turns out that me and Dan Ward was going to be on it too. You know, rip Dan Ward. So it was a long time ago. So basically, we were going to be on this team, but we weren't queued for the second Pro Tour. But we had pro points from the first Pro Tour, and apparently you can add players to your team as long as I think everybody has to agree. Again, the way I'm talking about it doesn't sound like I know because it's not very well explained, and there wasn't much information put out about it that time. And then things change, and so as soon as you think you might have it figured out, you don't. And so we couldn't get on the team because we weren't queued for that Pro Tour. And the whole point of being on a team is that if your team places well, then everybody on the team gets a qualification or something like that. And so it turned out that my sponsor was gonna pay for the team, but then, you know, basically put them up in an Airbnb, y'all wear my jersey type thing. And then that kind of fell through at the last minute, and they didn't have a logo for their team or a team name. I said, man, y'all could be the Goon Squad. That's cool with me, even though I'm not on it. So there's a Goon Squad team. But after that, who knows? I mean, I don't know. They changed so much. Like, there's 6 Pro Tours next year. There's always changes to the Pro. This is why I stick to Star City, because I was trying to figure out how to be silver, and even that points change. You know, what do you get every year? Midway through the year, they're talking about next year. You read that, and you're all tripped up. It's like.
And plus, they changed the way you qualify for Pro Tours again. They're trying to bring back the old PTQ system, but even trying to qualify for that is different now.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with, and I feel like you need a magic accountant. I think that could be like a thing.
Hey,
I don't
Kevin.
think. I still feel like you wouldn't make money if you had a magic accountant.
I got an agent. I'll pay him well. So there might be.
So Kevin, do you want to be my magic accountant?
I'm your magic accountant, huh?
Oh man, yeah, no, that's I choose not to even figure out. So anyways, let's talk about the decks. Standard is insane right now. So I did a.
Is it really?
It is.
Is it really insane?
I don't know. I mean, think about it this.
Is that a guilt joke? Is it really?
Is it really? Okay, so I did a poll on Twitter. I threw out some decks here. So I threw out White Weenie, 5-color control, Mono Red, Mono Blue Tempo, Green Black Midrange, Jeskai Control, Is It Drakes, and that's actually not all of them that could be played right now. To me, that's a lot of decks in Standard. I know you're not playing Standard right now, Jody, but like in past Standards that you played, I mean, have you ever seen or heard of that many decks that could be played?
Probably not in the last 2 years, really. I mean, obviously we've had a lot of bans over the last couple years, and for good reason. Like I think the last Standard format, like the only time I really played Standard was on double Grand Prix weekends, and it's always miserable because there's only 3 decks. So that does sound like a lot of decks. Maybe the pros, hopefully they don't break it, and then but I think the format's healthy. I think there's a lot of decks. There's a lot of things you can do, which is good. I think it's
nothing seems too overpowered right now. At least not until tomorrow when the pros show us wrong.
Right.
Shows us who we are.
Yeah. Now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of Golgari and Is It Drake's deck coming in, and that people are going to be looking out for that. That Mono Blue Tempo deck looks really, really good. That ridiculousness with Curious Obsession and Merfolk, or not, Mistcloaked Herald, I mean.
It's really good for Magic Arena because it's super cheap, easy to put together. You put it on Moto for $8, and you can grind something out of it. I think over time as people play against it, it's pretty easy to attack. But that deck is pretty insane.
Is. Yeah, but it can take you by surprise if you're not ready for it.
Oh yeah.
It's and then what was the other deck? The
Hey Kev, you look like you wanted to say something about Mono Blue.
Well, I mean, we can get my dumpster fire opinions in here about how horrible that deck is and how Curiosity Obsession dependent it is. They don't have a turn 1 drop, but turn 2 Curious Obsession. The deck is absolute just trash, but happens a lot.
Well, it steals games though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it does.
I've been in the same category as Mono Green. I think they're both terrible decks, but if someone runs hot with them, they can do some very splashy things.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I'm glad that Mono Red is still a thing. I really misjudged Experimental Frenzy when I was doing my set review for Guilds of Ravnica. Because when I first saw that card, I'm like, this is trash, and I was gonna fucking play it. And how wrong I am at how stupid that card can be.
Yeah, do you play it with Treasure Red? You should try it with Treasure Red.
Ooh.
So it's I know who was the streamer that's been playing that like crazy.
I'm not sure. I don't follow
Jim
Magic
Davis was on it for a little while. Yeah, neither do I, not often, but the whole thing is just Karn, Treasure Map, Experimental Frenzy, and then as many spells as possible, plus just the wizards to reduce the cost of Wizard Lightning. Mm-hmm. And then you can run Ash Cloud Phoenix. Usually you run the Steamkin with it too.
Yeah.
And I've had some insane games already, like being top decking Experimental Frenzy and then casting like 10 spells in a row. So with Experimental Frenzy, and the cool thing with Treasure Map is then you get to scry the lands off so you can keep going. Or if Treasure Map flips, it's pretty easy to cast Fight with Fire for 10.
Yeah.
But it's a fun little deck. I prefer it over Mono Red.
Yeah, I've gotten hit.
See if I can find a list of it.
I've gotten hit with that deck on MTGO, but I've been able to. I'm grinding Grixis right now, which nobody's playing Grixis.
Because it's bad.
It's not bad. You keep on saying that it's bad, but
it's so bad. So
If
bad.
you combine two bad decks together, in the coaching group I'm in, we're working on a Grixis deck that's just like the mono blue deck with Curious Obsession. Throw in some Nick Bolas and what's the new 2/2 when it hits, you get to play a card off the top of their deck.
Thief of Sanity.
So, and with all the protection, the blue protection spells, dive downs and stuff. So it's like the mono blue with actual couple real cards. So you get the obsession draws, and then like your protection spells that actually have something worth protecting, other than a Curious Obsession creature.
Oh, that's crazy. Huh. Yeah.
That does sound fun.
It's a lot of fun. I remember our dude had was playing green white, and he had a Carnage Tyrant that I couldn't beat, and I whacked him with the Thief of Sanity or whatever it's called, and peeled the settle.
Yeah, I'm glad that
they main decked one settle and one Carney T. Told me after the match.
Oh man.
I was like, oh, well, that was perfect. I'm glad I got the Carney T instead of the settle.
Yeah, Golgari's playing a lot of Carnage Tyrant right now because in the beginning they weren't. But yeah, if you're gonna play control deck, you might as well do Jeskai right now. Jeskai's the best out there.
Yeah.
For now, at least.
I just don't. You know what? So I played Jeskai in Modern. Actually, Jody got me up to speed for an SEG tournament in the Mastermind to play Jeskai Control in Modern. And I don't know. I guess I'm more partial to that Jeskai, and when I play this one, I'm just like, meh, it's not really all that fun for me. It's just not a fun deck to play. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though.
I feel that way because I just built blue-white control in Modern, and I haven't realized how stupid that deck is until I started playing it. Where I even have to apologize to my opponents, like, I'm so sorry for not allowing you to play Magic, as I terminus every single turn or do whatever the hell. Yeah.
I've been resisting that deck a lot in Modern, just because I love Cryptic Command decks. But ever since they printed Search for Azcanta, it made all those blue-white X decks just way too good. And
yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I never like playing the most popular or best deck ever, you know. But very few times. I can play Callblade Mirrors for the rest of my life, and I think I'll live a happy life. But outside of that, I want to be like tier 2.5. You never heard of it. Gotcha decks. I like playing rogue decks, even though I play competitive, you know.
Oh no, I know what you mean. It's my two favorite decks of Modern is blue-white control right now, and also Grixis Delver. Even though that's so fallen out of the meta, it's so slow and bad right now. But I still enjoy it.
I was so bummed I didn't get a chance. I wanted to see you play at Detroit because you were playing Salt Stacks, right, Jody?
Yeah, that's what I call the Salt Stacks, also known as the Grixis Prison deck, whatever they title it. I call it Salt Stacks because it's all about salt extraction, mining. That's what it's all about. Yeah, that deck is something else. I actually found that deck in a 5.0 right after Jace got unbanned, and I've just kind of been running with that ever since and watching it evolve and networking with the guy who made the deck. And it's actually funny because Star City Games is a team ununified Modern. This is going to be the first time this has ever happened. To where you can have, first week of January or something in Columbus, or early January, early in the year. So you could have 3 of the same decks in Modern on the same team.
What?
And so I'm playing with the creator of the deck and the next most notable player that plays the deck. And we're going to play triple Salt Stacks.
Oh, man.
We're going to be winning 102. We're going to be winning matches 102. I'm sure it's going to happen more than 3 times.
Oh, man.
That deck is something, man.
I might just go to Columbus to watch that. Holy smokes.
Well, this guy I've been coaching, he said that he got a team together, the same team. He's going to go. I said, well, hopefully we'll top 8 and we'll get an untimed mirror on camera. Triple untimed mirror. Prison. The internet will break, man. Twitch chat will riot for sure.
Oh, man. Okay, so Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica starts, and there's a lot of decks to play. Like, I know, excuse me. I don't know. Is there any favorites that you've seen around in the meta, Kevin? I know you look at the meta every day, right? You're like, which decks are those? Which ones are those that are winning?
Now that I'm assessed to the market, it's the most important thing to do. But yeah, I don't like Golgari. I think it's bad going into the Pro Tour. But I mean, that could end up being why it's good going to the Pro Tour. Because, I mean, that's what a meta game is. You're trying to play the game of what? You play the deck that beats the best deck, you play the best deck, you play the deck that beats the deck that beats the best deck, that sort of thing. So it could be, I don't know. Apparently there's a few pro teams that have been tweeting around that they've broke the format, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't have any faith in the Pro Tour anymore. I think that MTGO is a lot more data, sheer data, and even a lot more talent if you combine the entire MTGO than just, you know, one Pro Tour. So I think the days of Pro Tours really defining Standard going forward is in the thing of the past, because I don't think it was really the Pro Tour that did that. I mean, MTGO lists were usually a week ahead of the Pro Tour anyway. But this one seems to be a good one as far as, if you look back at the 21st, the 28th, even the week before that, there's been a different deck on top every week. So it started out with Mono Red, then we had Golgari, then we had Jeskai Control, and now we're like, what? I would say White Weenie is the top deck, according to the Mox showing.
Yeah.
And the competitive Standard League. So, you know, maybe Mono White's the worst one to play. Like, I tried Mono White week 1, and it was awful. It was probably the worst deck choice, just because there were so many sweepers, and Fine Finality was a 4 of in most decks. And it's I don't know. I really like this Standard because it reminds me of Innistrad and Return to Ravnica. And a lot of people think back of that thinking it was a horrible format with Thragtusk, but Thragtusk was just the cop. It was policing the format that mid-range could at least compete with aggro and control. But that was so similar with Return to Ravnica and Innistrad. It was every week was a different top deck.
Yep.
And so it was hard to, it was just, you didn't have to go through the redundancy of seeing, you know, black-red vehicles for what, 12 weeks straight?
12 months, it felt like.
Yeah. Or Bant Company for a year straight.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, that's sad on that one.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Or Bant
Four Color Rally.
rotates. Yeah, that's exactly
Oh,
Bant
the
Company
Four
rotates
Color
and then they get the rally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was rough.
I'm rooting for Jeskai Control. That's what I'm rooting for.
Why? So we can get Teferi banned quicker?
No, I don't want them banned. I'm a control player at heart.
I hate that card with a passion.
It's ridiculous. I can't believe they made something like that, and it's I love personally playing it, but I can't believe that power level, man. It's ridiculous.
We haven't seen Azorius yet.
I think
that's probably when Teferi's going to get banned, when the next Ravnica set. They're probably going to reprint. Oh, let's reprint Supreme Verdict again. Let's reprint Detention Sphere.
Sphinx's Rev.
Yeah, Sphinx's Rev. And we're banning Teferi. What was that?
Give him some Condemn or something, just a throwback from the first Ravnica.
Oh,
him
yeah.
up.
Let's get Judge's Familiar back in.
Give him everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
when a 5-mana Planeswalker makes it into Modern and does well, that the card, in my opinion, that's pretty powerful. Because you think about Modern, there's not a ton of, 4-mana plus Planeswalkers in the format, right? I mean, other than Teferi.
Nahiri? What about Nahiri, or is she 4 mana?
She's 4 mana.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of any other 4+ Planeswalkers. That's a good question. Anyone know?
Well, no, that gets played in Modern. No, there's Karn is Liberated, but that one costs 3.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
that one costs 3.
Yeah, he only costs 3 mana.
And I guess if you think about Teferi, I think the reason why Teferi can be that 5-mana Planeswalker is because you get a rebate. You get that 2-mana rebate. It's really like 3 mana, given the context of your deck. So
Very much.
That's kind of what makes them broken. You get 2 lands back and you get a card, right? So.
Yeah, that card's nasty. I lost a vintage game this weekend in Teferi. That was interesting. And
What?
Oh, jeez.
yeah, man, I played Eternal Weekend this weekend. I lost to a Teferi and I lost to a Niv Mizzet. Pick up your Niv Mizzets. That card's nuts.
The new one?
Oh yeah, that one's something. Yeah, the guy it was vintage, so it was like turn 2 Niv Mizzet, and I was like, cast Life from Alone. They were like, draw a card, take 1. I was like, yeah. I'm over here praying for Caracas. Like, what is this Niv Mizzet doing over here?
Niv
That card's
Mizzet?
something to look out for. I bought about 30 of them on Moto because, I don't know, I think it's good, especially if Control takes the top spot. It's like a good card. that at least will return. Like the same thing as the ferry. If you deal with it, you're gonna have to use a card. I already got the card back. If you're dealing with it outside of Eldritch Reborn, like Niv Mizzet, you're definitely gonna get a rebate on you're gonna get a card back. So, and you're gonna get 4 mana from them. So it's gonna be a tie at least, and they'll be down a card. So even if you just at the very worst scenario is Eldritch Reborn, but outside of that, you're always getting the card back and a damage. So I think it's good. That's good. I think the Ral is gonna be good too. So it depends. You know, it's metagames. The thing slows down. These cards get better. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
The thing about Raw is I think nobody's found a way to utilize him right. I mean, he's a one of, I think, just a one of in some of the Jeskai lists, right?
Right.
So when you talk about 4 Teferis in a control deck and 1 Raw, but I think you're right. Like I do like the card. I actually tried it in Grixis, and it was kind of meh. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So Kev, you said green black, right? You're thinking green black?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking that's one of the worst ones to go in. But I mean, it could be if people aren't prepared. Like green black, it vanished once people started playing Tecatli Honor Guard, and it doesn't look like those decks are giving them up. So and the format became too fast to rely on Vraska. So that's what Golgari kind of doesn't have going for it. I don't know. I've been really impressed with a lot of the either white splash red or just pure white aggro decks. They seem to have game against everything right now, and it was the big winner out of the mocks. So usually that's a sign to come.
How about you, Zuby?
I'm still sticking with Jeskai control.
Jeskai.
I think it's gonna at least make 1 spot in the top 8.
If you had to name a deck, I know you haven't played much Standard recently, Jody, but like out of the ones that I was talking about, like your opinion, what are you thinking?
To win the Pro Tour, probably I don't know, probably white aggro deck. I'm gonna go with Kev on this one. I mean the deck's like low to the ground, and then it also has, a little resiliency. You can if you flip the. I'm so terrible with names. The stupid enchantment.
Legion Landing.
Yeah, Legion Landing.
Yeah.
You flip that, you can get a little mid game advantage, and you can finish them off with the pump spell that and just go wide on a lot of decks. I think it's a really good deck. A friend of mine's playing at the Pro Tour. Probably, he told me last week it was. The deck to play, and we'll probably play it on my team next week in Las Vegas. But again, Standard's kind of cool right now because like Kev pointed out earlier, it's like every week another deck's jumping the next deck, and the meta is constantly moving, which is good. It keeps it interesting. So, but if I were to pick a deck to win, it'd probably be the white deck.
Just everyone send your good vibes for Arclight Phoenix because I still have 100 of them.
Oh, I'm about to make you some money, Kev.
Well, I already sold. I've already sold 100, but I still have 100 left. So I got it at 250. So
I knew you were.
Oh damn!
So that was it. It's a good 4K payoff. So I'm hoping. Tecatli Honor Guard's another one that I'm really deep on, and I got those at. I bought Channel Fireball out at 30 cents, 35 cents. So 50 at 30 cents, 50 at 35 cents, 50 at 39 cents, and another 50 at 39 cents, and then the rest of their stock at 39 cents. So about nice. 250. Channel Fireball had a good buy list. I just send them back their own cards. It's one of my favorite things to do with these big vendors.
That's funny.
All right.
And they raise their buy price.
yeah,
I've
right.
done the card kingdom so many times. They might as well just like set the cards that I buy from them aside because they're just gonna get them back anyway. Save us both on shipping.
Keeping the post office in business.
Well, I'm gonna go with mono blue tempo. For some reason, I just have a feeling that deck's just gonna break out in the Pro Tour. It's a wonky deck, but I'm wondering if somebody's just gonna come with some weird innovation that hasn't been seen yet, or something, or somebody's just gonna slam it down and it's gonna just explode. I don't know. That's my guess.
It got second at one of the GPs, yeah, with Gabriel Nassif.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's got game, but like I said, if someone runs hot with it, they can go the distance. It's kind of you see those type of all-in decks do that, especially like in Modern when someone plays a deck like you've seen Living End go really hot before, for example.
Yeah.
When no one's prepared for it, so it could be a good pick.
So we're winding down in the last 20 or 30 minutes of the stream. So I want to kind of throw it out to you guys. See.
Talked about controversy stuff. You bring me onto a stream where I can potentially get myself banned, and you haven't given me anything to get banned about. Come on, Eli.
Not yet.
Shooting.
Not yet, but you will have an opportunity.
Shall we talk about Trump?
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
Listen, man, don't talk about Trump, man. He's like, attacking reporters and stuff.
I was talking about Trump from Hearthstone. I don't know what you guys are
Oh, look at him!
Has Wizard sponsored him to do arena content yet?
Not yet. He probably... Actually, no, that's been Amaz, right? Yeah.
I see a bunch of random streamers with low view count getting sponsored by Wizards. I'm like,
yeah, what is up with that? That's fucking... I don't know.
Well,
whatever.
they're not getting paid. I'll tell you on the other side of it. Basically, I'm in the Wizards. I don't know how I got it, but I'm like a Wizard partner, creator, or something.
Yeah.
And I got an email like a month ago. I was supposed to send him a headshot, and all I had one was from my previous jersey, so I didn't want to like send one in with my previous sponsor, and I was just kind of like procrastinating because I'm pretty terrible. And I checked my email because I thought that my featured day, they have featured days. Now I have no clue, like I have no clue where they feature it. Okay, like marketing, not great. Now they are pushing a lot, but I don't know. I guess more people are watching it.
Yeah,
but
they are,
basically, they were like, okay, you need a headshot. You're gonna have one day where you're gonna be featured. Your day is gonna be on the 9th of November. That's tomorrow. I read the email today again because I thought my feature day was the 19th or something. So I was like, oh, well, I'll go take a headshot and I'll send it to her. So then I get on there and I go to send her the headshot and I'm like, oh, my day's tomorrow, so I missed this. But it's like, well, where is it even featured? And it's like nowhere in the correspondence. And I'm like, man, I mean, I guess if you get one featured day, but the problem is that I stream Arena and nobody watches me. It's crazy. It's just, like, there's so many Arena streamers. It's tough. And then also it's only Standard, which is like, I guess Standard's fine now, but I don't know. The thing is I like older formats, so it's miserable. And so I think Moto is probably going to end up dying here soon because they're putting so much in the Arena. They're talking about making a new Eternal format from Ixalan up. I guess it's
give
going to
it
be
5 years for Moto.
Yeah.
5 years. They've put the most incompetent person in charge of Moto. It's done. It's a goner.
It's going to die a slow death. That's the thing. They're going to milk it for as much as they can. And this should have happened 5 years ago.
Well, they'll have to get. I mean, they'll have to get all of the card library on Arena before they kill it. No,
no, they don't. No, they won't.
You don't think so?
And for everybody crying about how much money they invested in Moto, I'm sorry, Wizards doesn't care. I mean, look at all their other Magic Duels games they've done.
See, that's kind of something I'm hedging some bets on. They are going to give us some way out of it. So I've been slowly investing in bulk mythics.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something where, hey, I don't know, your account's worth $1,000. Here's 1,000 gold in Magic Arena. See you later.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe to let you dust in MTGO towards gems in Arena. That's
I know, right?
But so I own like thousands of penny mythics basically. A lot of them are less than a penny. Yeah. On MTGO. But everything else I pretty much cashed out. I got a bunch of spell quillers left on that stupid thing that I can't sell, but
Yeah, I sold my entire. I had like a full collection all the way through, except for maybe 3 Liliana Veils because I just never played them. And the day before the NDA lifted, I got a quote, sold the whole thing, for like $8.5 grand, and I'm like, I'm out. See ya. I'm renting.
Yeah.
And
I
all
sold
the
my
prices tanked right
collection,
after that.
Yep.
It was
Yeah, my
crazy.
collection's gone too. So, yep.
Yeah, I mean,
That
basically,
works,
what I do is when I draft, I just get the 4 ofs. I redeem them because it's much cheaper just to redeem sets. And I rent from Mana Traders or what is it, Mana Traders.
Yep.
Because then I can play any of the decks I want. I don't need a collection. All right, so let's talk about story time. Anybody have any good stories to tell? I know Jody, you do story time on your channel.
Yeah, I like telling stories. Okay, I'll tell you a story. And I've never made this story, but I played in Star City in Dallas a few weeks ago, and I was playing the prison deck we were talking about earlier, and it was the weirdest day of Magic I ever played that I can remember. And it started out, I had a bye for first round. Second round, I get on camera, and I'm on camera, and I'm the backup camera against Jess Guy with my prison deck, which is my worst matchup. And we're going to game 3, and I asked this table spotter, "Yo, how much time do we have left?" He was like, "You got 3 minutes." And I was like, 3 minutes, huh, for game 3? And then he's like, "Okay, we're gonna cut to y'all, so y'all finish mulliganing and sideboarding and mulliganing, and then we'll start you with 3 minutes." I said, "Okay." So if I only have 3 minutes, I boarded out all my defensive pieces. Ensnaring Bridges, EEs, all of it out, right? We got to go aggro with size and Tezzerets, right? So I board according to the time limit, and then I keep my hand. My opponent keeps his hand, and then they're like, "Okay, we're going to start y'all, and you got 6.5 minutes." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." I boarded like we had 3 minutes, but then I don't want to stop the thing or call a judge or see if I can re-sideboard or anything like that, because when you're on camera, you really just can't like call a judge, because then you're going to end up on Reddit. Okay, so like trying to avoid that situation. I think the percent chance of me losing was probably worth not having to deal with that. And so I played, and then my opponent taps out for an Entreat the Angels hard cast, and then I get to whir, and then I can have anything in my deck, and the defensive pieces aren't there, and I'm gonna have them locked out with Tectonic Edge Crucible next turn. Cost me the game. And so now I'm pretty much dead on board because none of the stuff's in my deck because I boarded out because we thought we had 3 minutes. And we only got like a minute left, and I was like, man, this was like not supposed to happen. So it was kind of weird. Then in the next round, I get deck checked, and so I'm 1-1, and I get deck checked, and it was a series of kneecappings from the officials. Unbelievable. So I get deck checked, and I have these beta islands that I get Mark Poole to alter, and he puts one of his arts from like Howling Mine or Library. I get him altered every time I see him. I get a different one of his works of art on one of these Sunset Islands. And so they deck check me, and the guy's telling me this thing about a drop cut, okay? And I've never heard of this before, but if you drop a deck from like about that far off the table, and it drops, there'll be a natural cut if there's a problem with the deck. Never heard of this. And then so you open the deck where the cut is, and he was cutting to the islands every time. And I was like, well, that's a problem. They're like, yeah, it's game loss. I said, okay, well, I gotta appeal it. He's like, yeah, I figured you would when you were walking over here. I was like, well, you know I gotta do what I gotta do. And he's like, yeah. I said, as long as you ain't mad about it. He's like, nah, I ain't mad about it. So, all right. So the head judge comes over. Yeah, that's still game loss. You got some other islands. So I put in 4 regular Sunset Islands, and then he drop cuts them again, and he's still cutting to the islands. Like 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8 times. Unbelievable. And so I was like, they were like, well, we're going to get the islands from the draft land station and put them in your deck. I said, okay. So they put them in there. He's drop cutting to them again. Still. They're not even my islands. So I'm like, man. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go use the restroom. Y'all can figure this one out. By use the restroom, I mean I'm going outside to go smoke. And then I'll come back in, and hopefully I'll have this sorted out. So then I leave. I come back. They're like, yeah, we didn't figure it out. Go play your game, though, because we're 25 minutes into the match. You're playing the slowest deck in the history of Modern. So, like, we need to get this tournament going. So then I run over there. They hand me my deck. I run over there, shuffle real quick, and present for basically everybody in the event. So they don't have to wait an extra hour, you know, for the next round. And then I play, and in the middle of the game, I draw a sideboard card. Now, I've been playing for many years, and for the longest time, that's a game loss, right off the rip. So I'm like, this is miserable, because they handed me my deck, and I can't really blame it on them. I should have checked, but I was trying to do the rush thing for them, and so now I'm going to get a game loss, call the judge on myself. Judge is like, oh, this is actually not a game loss anymore. So I end up 2-0 in this cat, right? And they're like, we didn't figure it out, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna make you change all your sleeves. So I buy some dragon shields, you know, and they're like, here's 2 judges to help you sleeve. I'm double sleeved, right? So I'm de-sleeving, the other guy's sleeving, and then I'm like handing this judge my sideboard. I said, go ahead and de-sleeve that. We're sleeving these because he can't put the perfect fits inside of the regular sleeves. Okay, no big deal. So he's like, no, just do the main deck so you get to the next match because they already paired. And they got the other people waiting to sit there to play their match. So deck gets done. I run over there to play the next guy. He's playing Mardu Pyromancer. I win the first game. Second game, I punt and lose. He punted game 1 and lost. Great match. The guy was real nice. We're in game 3. He has a Stony out there, but I get a Tezzeret down before the Blood Moon comes down. I have Chalice on 1 and 2. He K commands it down to 2. I get a Chalice for 3 out there. My Tez is going to ult on turn 6 of extra turns. But there's only 5 extra turns, right? Now, what I didn't mention is after game 1, I had to re-sleeve my sideboard. Remember, the judges didn't they told me just go do the thing. And I didn't think to ask for a time extension. And all this flurry of things going on round after round after round. And so I'm like, this guy doesn't want to concede. He's dead next turn. I got Chalice on 1, 2, and 3. I'm not mad at him because I don't scoop either. You know what I'm saying? But like the victim, I was just like, I don't ever like being a victim or playing a victim. But I'm like, man, this is all some crazy circumstances that led to me getting bombed out of this tournament with 2 losses. And I ended up taking the draw with the guy when I was supposed to. I should have conceded to him so I wouldn't be in the draw bracket. So I wouldn't have to play the worst match. So it was just crazy. I ended up playing a bunch of cryptic decks and losing because I was in the draw bracket. So
oh, man.
It was just like, man, I was getting kneecapped by the judges. Not of their own fault, just the way the rules work, I guess. But like, I just couldn't shake it. And I have like always been the type of person where it's like, no matter what happens, I'm going to be good. Everything's going to be better. Shake it off. Next round, next round, next round. And then I just could never shake it. It's like,
oh, man.
That was the weirdest day of Magic, man. I just couldn't shake any of it, man. I just kept getting kneecapped, man. It was nuts, man.
Oh, jeez.
So, I don't know. It was a long story, sorry. What you got, Kev? Tell us a crazy story.
Story time? I'm not here for stories.
Okay, controversy then. Oh. You give us a controversy.
That's what I meant.
Give us a rant. Because Kevin rants. Right?
You gotta pick the topic. I don't be picking topics.
Oh, okay.
Or here's one. You can talk about the latest one. How Wizards is no longer giving out water and T-shirts for free for Pro Tour players.
If I have to listen to Jerry Thompson open his stupid mouth one more time, I'm gonna lose it. There's my controversy. Everyone's Jesus Christ of the Magic community is my Satan. I've met the guy in real life. He's actually, I don't know. People say it's just his personality. But very standoffish. He was a jerk to me at Pro Tour Dragon's Maze. I've never been a fan of him. I've never been a fan of Planned Parenthood or any of these other... don't get me started on charities to begin with, where every Magic player, they use charities as just a way to pump their own brand up, which is, in my opinion, very disingenuous to begin with. I get to lose a lot of friends here because a bunch of my peers... A lot of my peers do the exact same thing. They use charities. It's a big hoorah. Get over yourselves. And that's just... So every time Jerry T opens his mouth, I want to pull a purple.
Oh damn! I feel like you like.
I want to wind up a kick.
Okay, how about something a little bit less passionate? We'll say Ultimate Masters.
No, that's less passionate. where I'm on the phone for the distributors for 40 minutes and they don't know what the hell's going on. Where they can't, where I'm supposed to be fulfilling orders and I'm supposed to order a product before I even know what's even in this stupid set. I'm supposed to have everything done by the 14th of November when the set spoils in the 20th or what, 20th or 21st?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's just a headache. I don't know.
You mean there's like
what a way to kill you. Yeah. That's nothing new between, match. I feel for distributors. Distributors are actually doing quite terrible right now, from what I gathered with the conversation. Prices are probably going to go back up even more in January. Not from Wizards, but just on the distributor end, that they are just not being able to compete where they need to be with margins with Wizards. So I guess distributors didn't want to shock the industry too much when Wizards raised their prices, so they kind of were doing a little bit halfway. Because back in a couple months ago, it's been more than a couple months now, Wizards increased the prices of how much they sold to distributors, but didn't increase the MSRP. And from what I hear, they also didn't increase the price of what, like, well, the first of all, their deal with Amazon is a what's called a surrender. So you have when you sell directly through Amazon, you have to surrender any sort of price control. So Amazon tries to dictate what the margins will be, and Amazon can work off at an extremely low margin. And so distributors are kind of under a lot of pressure from that to try to at least be able to get to local game stores and other outlets at a price where they can make profit, and also the local game stores can make profit while still trying to compete with, you know, Sports and More and Amazon. And it's just a mess right now. So I don't know how much more the market can bear before prices are just inevitably going to have to go up. And unfortunately, the consumers are going to blame, you know, local game stores or distributors when the finger should definitely be pointed at Wizards at this point. But and that's the most passionate topic you get me started on. I'm insanely worried right now because I've did about $20,000 worth of orders, and if I have to, you know, and I'm not guaranteed a single box, so it's going to be a very embarrassing day if I can't get this product. But I mean, I'm doing everything I can. It's a mess. So yeah, wow. That's my story time.
How about how?
It's a sad story, man.
Oh,
I mean, you can't get like a upward twist at the end over here. Oh shit, man.
Still love the game of Magic. I mean, the most things I can complain about as far as the game is concerned is Sam Stoddard, which I'm sure the guy's a good guy. I'll quit egging on Sam Stoddard with his design, but
how about
Arena's good. You guys play Arena?
I'm actually
a little bit.
I'm starting in December streaming.
Might even get you whining about the 5th copy of the Mythic that I have to your place there too.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. How about
you? You can count on me. If there's a community issue that everyone is against, I'm probably for it. And if there's an issue in the community that everyone's for, I'm probably against it. So. Good rule of thumb.
How about you, Zoob?
What, any stories?
Yeah. Or anything you want to talk about what's going on right now?
At GP Atlanta last week, I was doing a modern event, and my second round opponent smelled like shit. Talk about that. And I even audibly said, like, damn, someone smells like shit around here as I'm looking at the guy.
Oh, man.
And I don't think the guy understood or got it, but yeah, it was, and it wasn't just a little bit of BO, you know, a little bit of BO is okay, but when it's like straight up, oh dear God, I'm playing really bad, maybe that was that was the way he wins, because he did end up beating me. He was playing Dredge, and yeah, so playing Dredge and smelling really bad, so.
Maybe that's part of the, you know, it's just on theme with the death.
Yeah.
Cosplaying as a graveyard creature.
Well, he's cosplaying, right?
Yes.
If you want story time on that topic, though, I do have a good one for that. Zach and I had to call a lawyer, basically.
Why?
About this issue. We had a person coming in smelling like they're a dead carcass, and this person was also sue happy. The whole reason why they had money was they sued someone. So we are terrified for our business, and mind you, we'd only been in business for less than a year, and so we had to actually go get legal advice on what we could actually do to stop this person from coming into our store.
So what can you do? Like, I'm actually curious
I'm Utah. I can reject anything for any reason. If
Oh,
I don't like
okay.
you can't come into my store. And the police will enforce it. I don't have to have a reason. I don't have, so that's basically what the lawyer told me. But still, it was one of those things, though. This is a person that's probably can, they can claim disability. They can claim, that. So there's a lot of the law might say it protects you, but that's just. It was a tricky situation because it was killing small store, and that smell, it stunk the entire place up and lingered, and we had customers telling us they weren't coming in because of it. And it was awful.
Oh yeah, I've had my fair share of awesome Magic players in my community. That can just go on even longer, but that's really interesting though, Kevin. It's interesting to hear. I'm gonna, next time that there's someone smelly like that, I don't know if it is like that in Florida, but I'll tell the LGS owner, like, hey, you can just tell them to get the fuck out.
I had an Uber ride yesterday, and a guy ripped one in the car.
Oh no!
Shit. And I was like, dude, at least crack the window, man. Like, nothing. Just acted like it was a great ride at the end. I was like, I'm 1 star on this mo.
Oh man, like he didn't even crack a window.
Oh man, I was like,
dude, that's bad.
You really did that, bro. I was like, damn, bro.
Did he even admit to it?
No, he was actually smiling. Oh, thanks so much for the ride. It was great.
He didn't even own up to it. Shit.
It's like, we're the only 2 people in the car, dude.
I would have owned up to it, be like, oh, sorry, man. Sorry.
Look, I mean, you know it wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta know that I know. You know, I mean,
yeah, right. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I would have like rolled down all the windows on him just for that.
I would have.
Yeah, no, I
rolled.
definitely
God, what the fuck was that?
Like, I should have just put him on blast, but I said I'm just gonna 1 star him, and then like maybe I'll never go get an Uber ride. I doubt it works like that, but I don't know. That's a whole nother talking point. But I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. I haven't noticed that Magic tournaments really like. I guess I'm not really real close to people. Say, no, somebody ripped one, and I the other day when I was playing a match at Eternal Weekend, I was like, man, I said, this is Eternal Weekend for sure, because man, that's an eternal rip this person had, whoever it was, and it was right where I was sitting down too, like middle of a match. I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me, man. So yeah, it's rough. It's rough. That hasn't changed.
That's all that.
Don't talk about it too much, man. You know, you're a good band, man. You know, don't do it. Personal hygiene. People can't take care of themselves. Sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also too, right? Like they serve shitty food when you go to a GP or anything like that. So like anything that is gonna come out is not gonna be very pleasant, anyways,
you
right?
Don't like that overpriced convention food?
Oh God, brutal, man.
That overpriced Papa John's pizza that's like $15 for like a small little thing.
Oh, I'll tell you a good thing. Actually, when I went to Grand Prix in Brazil, they had, I don't know, no less than 7 food trucks drove into the convention center and were posted up there all weekend. I was like, why is every Grand Prix not like this? You get like
right?
$5. Yeah, obviously
I'm sure it was delicious food too compared to.
Yeah, food trucks rolled. Yeah, and it was all like 20 rail or whatever, which is like $5 for whatever pizza or burger or whatever, and whatever they got. You know, it was all good. So
GP Atlanta at least had a Subway downstairs. So I mean, it's not the best food, but when you compare it to the other food they had, it's like, oh, this is really good. They also had a Chinese shop, and that tasted like complete ass.
I got a funny story about Detroit. So go to Detroit, and Jody, you were there. So they had the chicken tender stand. They had a pizza stand, and then they had some other stand with like nachos or some shit or something. I don't remember what it was. But I wanted to get chicken tenders, right? So
right.
I walk over there, and on the board they had one that was 5 chicken tenders or 3 chicken tenders. And I was like going back and forth. Do I want a hot dog? Do I want tenders? Hot dog, tenders. I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna get tenders. But I mean, we were about to start round 1, and I'm like, I don't want to eat a ton. I mean, we don't eat a lot before you start, right? Like you graze kind of, right? And so I walk up, and she's like, we don't have 3 chicken tenders. You can only get 5. I'm like, what? You can't get 3 chicken tenders? But I can get 5. Like, what?
Well,
how does that even make any sense?
that's probably all they could do. I actually didn't get the chicken tenders there, but I got a food story from Detroit since you brought it up, and it's also going to tie in with some controversy because that's what people want, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Right.
The salt.
Give you a little backstory. I got a friend of mine from back in the day. I said I got an agent, right? Well, I got this guy who's my agent, right? And I went 9-0 at a Grand Prix one time, and I got him to take the picture with me because he was like my hype man all day, right? That's what I mean by agent. Well, this guy, we used to co-collect when I was like in high school, a long time ago, and he rides my ass every year about me selling his or trading his stamped GT from the one Nationals event he qualified for, right? He had a stamped, it was like his only stamped draft that he ever played in, and he had a GT, and it basically brings it up every time. Like, he met my old lady, and guess what? The first thing he told her was that, oh yeah, Jody stole my fucking GT. So I'm like, oh, I gotta watch my mouth. Sorry. So sure enough, he always gives me a hard time about it. So I'm in in Detroit, and at the end of the event, okay, I'm going to get dinner with a couple goons, right? Like a couple followers. We're gonna go do dinner, and in the mix is everybody's favorite Magic player, Alex Bertoncini. Okay, now he's on his way out of the door, right? He's on his way out the door. Yeah, and I had just gotten in the spot like I'm on my way out, and he found a binder, okay, and he has an empty binder, and he walks up to these floor traders, and he's like, "Yo, I'll give you this binder and everything in it. What do you want to give me for it?" Without looking at it, and they were like, somebody offered him a $5 card or something. Now I wasn't there to witness this part. This is just the after story that I get. The guy's like, "Oh, I'll give you some $5 card." He's like, "Oh, no, you gotta do better than that." And the other person said, "I'll give you this GT, right?" And so he's like, "All right, I'll do it." So he swaps for the GT, an empty binder. Then he leaves, and they're trying to chase him down. And we're jumping in the Uber, and then he jumps in the Uber, and we're going to dinner, right? We're like 8 deep. We go to this barbecue joint, and then he's like telling us this story. And then he's like, "And look what they gave me for this empty binder." And he puts on the table a stamped GT. And I'm like, dude, I've got to have that. like that might be the same GT that I traded away many years ago, you know? And so I ended up like trading him for the GT. And it was like, you know, kind of like I had to have it, you know, and I just unbelievable that he got it. And I ran into the floor traders at another event, and they were like, "Oh man, can't believe that. There was nothing in there." But I don't know, maybe it'll be on Reddit because of it, but I mean, it could have opened the binder, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, really. I know everybody hates Alex Bertoncini, you know, for cheating. So, like, here's my thing. Here's what I don't like about controversy and Magic, okay? Here's the thing. I respect everybody until they disrespect me, or they disrespect themselves. You know, I always, like, have this thing, like, you know, as long as you don't come across at me, you know, or any of my friends, or I don't see you doing something that's messed up, you know, as long as you're not like a messed up person, you know, with good intentions. Like I even say like Jerry T. You brought up Jerry T earlier. Now I've kicked it with Jerry a lot, and I know y'all probably, obviously, have your thing, you know, like maybe, you know, he shit on you, and so you're always gonna feel that way about him, and that's the thing. And like, so me, I know that I feel like he's a good person, and I don't agree with a lot of the politics and the you know, the charities that he supports. I definitely don't, and some of them. But the thing about it is like I always look at people on a one-on-one basis, and what I don't like about when people try and put people in groups, you know, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, you do this." Like I'm on the pod, we're doing this live right now, and with Rogue Deck Builder. The next day they're gonna be like all the shit that they throw at Rogue Deck Builder that he gets all the time, I'm sure, you know, and that's the problem is people don't take people or interactions for one-for-one deals, you know, and it's always like
they
a
just
group
lump
deal.
you in a group, yeah.
And I can't stand that about you know the current, you know, way that things fly, to the point where I haven't even posted anything on Twitter, you know, in a while, and it kind of makes me feel bad because like one of the things that I definitely do is I always try and be real, you know, I always try and be real about everything, and you can't be real out here because you know they're gonna shred you or misrepresent you or not understand you, and it's kind of sad, you know. So anyway, I probably shouldn't have said anything.
Hey, Reddit needs some pitchforks for something. They're running out of
They need more content.
Pokemans.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about controversy, and I kind of steer away from it. Like, I was, you know, I supported a lot of people when I first started out, and primarily you know, first I was new to the scene as far as YouTube goes, but people were friendly to me, like you know, like the Desolator Magic, MTG Purple, Jeremy from Unsleeved Media, like, and you know, Jeremy is probably one of the most controversial and probably well liked and hated member of the community, and he's banned from Magic, and you know. My interactions with Jeremy, although I don't agree with a lot of things he says or does, or how he sort of presents himself, but again, I mean, I've gone and had drinks with the guy, I've talked with the guy, I've had great conversation, and same with you, Jody. Like the one-on-one like conversation that I've had with Jeremy, I don't really have any problems with the guy, you know. But again, I think some of the things that, you know, how his tact and the way he does things, I think is a little, you know, I'll distance myself from that. But yeah, I agree. Like to me, it's like one-on-one kind of like I will take somebody for how I know them versus how everybody else knows them.
Yeah.
So
speaking of which, aren't you pretty close to the
Oh Lordy.
hated person number 1?
Listen, here's
Right now.
here's my rap sheet, man. Okay, look, I play a lot of team tournaments, like I said. Okay, I've had at one point in time I played a Grand Prix with Matt Folks and Dan Ward on the same team. So like, I don't have a good track record, man, for like where people go to hating on people. So like, and the thing is the Dan Ward thing was one thing. He was cheating at the Pro Tour. He lied to a judge, misrepresented, story got messed up. I don't know. I wasn't there. That's the thing is like I don't have evidence on any of this. If I see something and I know it, I know some dirt on some players that are like highly, favored. You know what I'm saying? That people love when they say the right thing.
Go on.
And like, and the thing is I'm just not like out here snitching on people. Because like I grew up in the hood, man, you don't snitch. And the thing is as soon as like somebody does something. Like the Dan Ward thing, I don't know what happened, but they banned him 6 months, right, for misrepresenting. It was a path with a Melly Mage or something, right? And so like, listen, Dan Ward's my boy, that's my boy. I had nothing but great times with Dan Ward, but like, dude, you know how that path in that Melly Mage works. Take your lick, I get that, and he is. And so then you look at also like I kick it with. Matt Folks, that and had a great weekend that one weekend when he was in the country, or we were in Canada, so different country. But then he's over there lying to the people to get an extra, footage tran, and like he might look at it as this way, and somebody else will look at it the other way. I've been there. Look, I've been in like I grew up in the hood, man. I've been in some spots and some things that I didn't have no business doing. And he's like, but. To some people it's like, well, this guy, he's a thief, he's a cheater, and everything gets like escalated beyond what it is, or people look at things a lot harsher or whatever, and and they wouldn't do that if it was one of their sacred cows. That's the saddest part that I hate about all of it is the hypocrisy. And then of course the next person, that's what everybody wants to hear is Todd Stevens, and you know what, Todd has had my back for 2 years, and before all of those. I was supposed to be on a team with Travis Wu, and I caught a bunch of shit for backing Travis Wu when I did, and I feel like I got blacklisted over the thing, Now he's about to come off his ban in a month. Travis, I know Travis, he is a good person, and good people do dumb things, and good people do, like don't look. I do dumb things. I'm doing a dumb thing right now, probably. So, what I'm saying? We'll find out tomorrow. So, like, but the thing about it is, so I like to try and give people the benefit of the doubt. Because I believe that generally people are good people. Like when you said the thing about Jerry, I said, I think Jerry's a good person. And I give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, I would disagree, and that's the best part about discourse. But whenever discourse turns into, get the pitchforks, this dude, we got to get him off. We can't have nothing, I hope he, like, lives under a bridge, And it's like, man, what happened? And so, like, as far as the whole Todd Stevens thing, I've been to a party at his house, what I'm saying? And I did not see him, like, hit on any girl. There was plenty of people with other girls. Now, I know there's people that have accused him, and it's enough to get him fired. And all that's true because, like, I mean, that's all it takes to get fired, So, like, I don't really know what happened. I saw a Reddit thread the other day that was kind of loopy. I don't know if y'all saw that one. That was pretty crazy. And so... But all I know is what everybody knows, and that's nothing, And all I know is that he's been nothing but a good person to me and taking care of me for 2 years, when I was light on the hotel room or this or that or that. And so maybe that skews my opinion of him. But the thing is like, I reserve judgment until I have more information, and that information is never going to come out because Star City's never going to say anything. And then the people who, you can't expect victims to come out and tell a story because then they're going to get targeted, or scrutinized or whatever. So. If we're going to be objective about the whole thing, nobody really knows anything except that something could have happened. But to me, sexual harassment, listen, I never sexually harass anybody. And if I saw it happen, I would be the motherfucker, the mofo, the magic fest, the bust them up, and make sure it don't happen, I'm throwing people out of bars that used to be a bouncer, so like, that's one thing. So like that automatically gives you hedge. So I'm kind of looking at Todd, like Todd, the Todd, bro, you did this, what's going on, And so he hasn't really said anything about it. So like, obviously if it's true, sure, But then you got to understand that that's like an if, and there's an allegation, and so like we're just gonna like distance ourselves from the whole situation. Nobody talks about it. So the thing about it is you know, I obviously you know, I respect women. I was growing up by women, and you know, so the whole thing is, I don't think you know, I don't know. I think that could be subjective. You know, I've been in that situation. My cousin. I was at a house, and my cousins who were on paper. I don't know if y'all know what on paper means, but you know, they are on probation, parole, right, and for some teenage stuff. And you know, we were there, and I had these two girls. The two girls were there. I worked with these two girls and this third, you know, separate party that also worked with us that didn't know my cousins, and they ended up putting a rape charge on them like a month later. And they spent a year in jail because they were already on probation, right? That's insta jail. And then they never went to court, and it never happened. I was there. It never happened, you know? And the way the details, I'm not going to go into all the details of what happened, but I know it did not happen. Like, they were laughing and joking and fighting them back over the next day and everything else. And it's like, man, if you got raped, did that really happen? You know, if you're friends and hanging out for 2 weeks, and then now they're playboys and they're dating your friends, and so now you put a rape charge on them. It's like just opportunistic, you know? And I'm not saying that's what happened in this case, but it is a thing that happens. And so that's why, for me personally, I always reserve judgment, you know, because I don't have all the facts. So I'm not going to make any judgment on anybody, you know? Pretty much. Who am I to judge anybody, you know? Pretty much. But people love to judge people, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was my rant. I don't know if that... not trying to one-up you over here, Kev.
Well, kudos to you. I think you and I can be friends. In a nutshell, that's the issue that I'm blacklisted for Magic the Gathering for. And the whole reason why I'm still blacklisted is I will not give ground. And you will never hear me give ground, because this is a topic that could get me going on way more important than Magic is in my life. Is that, you know, having someone's entire image, or even in my case, livelihood, completely tarnished by false accusations. So, yeah, I reserve the right to. I will not get my pitchforks until we have evidence that is just clear.
Yeah, I could be being biased, you know, because I've seen it happen. You know, I saw it happen to my family, you know, so it's like, you know, it's hard for me to swallow it every time. And then and I'm a very loyal person, so, you know, and it could lead to me being misguided. I know I have some of my own biases, you know, and I get it. And so I always try to take a step back and see what happened. So, like, since I don't know and I don't see, and I'm not privy to any of it, you know, I'm just not gonna, I don't know anything about it. So I'm not gonna be over here carrying a pitchfork for you. I caught a bunch of hell during the Magic Gate because I was over here in the middle of the whole thing. Not in the middle, because I wasn't really obviously not in the middle, but I was supposed to be on the team with Travis Wu, and he was like the secondary hit after Jeremy Hambley or whatever. And so, like, you know, for me, I was just like, hey, we're over here pitchforking, you know, and it's like, I get it. This guy's an asshole. He's a dick. I get it. I mean, you know, that don't bother me, but I understand it bothers a bunch of y'all. But the thing about it is like, do you want to be the same? I mean, the toxicity that I saw on Twitter, I was like, y'all want to be just as bad as this guy.
Right.
That's how I look at it in the middle. It looks to me like y'all are just as toxic. But since y'all have a good motive, y'all have good intentions, we're going to go down this path that only leads to hell. You know? And it's like, I just want to be a voice of reason in the middle, like, listen, there needs to be something done here, you know, clearly, you know, but maybe it's not the way that y'all want to do it, you know, and because y'all are just becoming the same thing that y'all are saying y'all are against. And it's like, do you not see, you know, the irony in that? And then it's like, oh, so you're for hate and harassment. You're for this. And I was like, listen, look, put it on the books, screen cap it. I am anti-hate, anti-harassment. If I see somebody getting harassed or hated on, and then I'm against it. You know, oh, so you're for hate and harassment, just talking in circles and ad nauseum. Yeah. I spent 9 hours on Twitter one day, and I was like, geez, man, this is like crazy that people are just like this vicious and vile, and like against people who they see as being vicious and vile, because, I mean, we'll say it, Hambley he's a dick. I'll say it, you know, he is. And so, like, you know, but then how does that make you a better person? Or how are you also going to claim the moral high ground, you know, at the same point in time? You know, so, like, to me, you know, I try and stay out of it. You know, this is the first time I really say anything, but I caught a bunch of shit just for being in the middle. Because it's like, that's the problem, is people are radical on two sides here. And if you're not running with one of them, then you're running with the other one in the eyes of the opposition, you know? And it's like, man, why can't we just play Magic? That's
yeah.
And the sad part is it's no different in any other community either. There's going to be your boogeymen in every kind of community you're a part of.
Poor Zuby, we dragged you into into the mud.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, if I'm going to say something about the Todd Stevens thing, yeah, I publicly denounced it because something like that is a little bit near and dear to my heart because I have 2 daughters, right? So, you know, and I know there's that whole, you know, we have to believe, right? And I know all the controversy behind that, right? So it's, one, we're never going to know the details and facts of it unless there is a legal case preceding it. And frankly, unless the victims or Todd Stevens themselves comes out and says what happens, you know, we're never going to know. But as far as the accusations go, you know, we have to take them, or at least I have to take them with some sort of sincerity behind it, because Star City Games, if from the stories that I read, you know, I look at it because I'm a manager and I have my own employees, and if someone came and started accusing me, or I'm not accusing me, but accusing one of my employees of doing something, you have to follow the process, and most of the time that process is you have to let the person go, depending on how bad the actual allegations are, right? Because you can't have any kind of lawsuit on your hands at that point. So it's, I look at it, I've distanced myself from it. I've had them on my podcast before, and I've taken those episodes down because I'm just not going to support someone like that. And if it turns out to be false and all that, let's say it all turns out like, hey, this was all fake, and it comes out, then I'll go ahead and say, hey, I'll put those episodes back up and say something about it. But, you know, I don't think we're ever going to know, like you said before, Jody.
Yeah, and I respect that completely. You know, that, I mean, it makes perfect sense, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You know, I'm not going to be over here like, hey, that's messed up. You're disavowing. That's my boy. We had such great times together. You know what? You're just a hateful person who this, that, or the next, you know. And that's the thing, is if you just like loosely, you know, if you just do something for your own reasons, and it's like, I don't think I'm wrong in like saying that I don't know, and so I ain't gonna say nothing about it, you know.
Right.
I don't know, you don't know, you know. But the thing is, it's like, it goes back to the whole Badgergate thing, where it's like, oh, well, you're undecided. Guess what? You're on the other side.
You have to be on the side.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. Like, I mean, you know, and I'm real close. Like, I was real close with Todd Stevens, you know. So like, you know, obviously I don't really kick it with Todd, obviously anymore. Where would I see him? You know, where would I see him?
Right.
You know, I got a new team. I got to find a new team. It seems like every 3 months, because somebody I know is getting banned, or you know. So
the other thing that he did that was kind of messed up was his apology, quote unquote, where he's just basically advertising.
That's not
he was advertising himself to stream. It's like, come on, you shouldn't have said anything.
You're never. I don't think so. I think that everyone was trying to find something they were looking for blood, and they found something. He dared to say he's coming back to stream. He has fans that consistently watched him for months upon months, years, and then he's off air. They want to know that, you know, he's okay, that he's coming back. I don't think it's necessarily using a controversy to advertise himself. The guy lost a ton off of this. And I know you say you have daughters, but what if you have brothers? What if you have sons? I mean, a feminist is only a feminist for so long until it happens to someone that is close to them. And I mean, that's kind of how it was in my life, where, you know, you couldn't have got me to, I would be hashtag believe all women, 100%. But then it happened to me. It happened to friends. And it changes your tone really, really quickly.
Oh, no.
When you find out how defenseless you are, choose with knowing that maybe, you know, I see a broken person now. When I watch him stream, he is a broken person. And just because he has not chosen to speak out about it or publicly had a statement, not an apology, not just a pure statement of what, you know, what is going on in his terms, or he wasn't involved in the process, he himself doesn't even know what's going on. That's not an apology. It's just he had to put something out. And I think he's been very professional. If it would have been me that would have had these accusations, I'd have burned the entire world down at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm citing that fact that, to me, that was a statement and not an apology.
Yeah, it wasn't an apology.
It was primarily stating what is happening, what I'm doing next, and I'm going to. You're gonna see me again, but not with Star City Games. And I came home when I saw the Twitter blow up about this. What kind of apology is this? And I took a moment and I wanted my wife to read what he wrote, because I wanted a female's perspective. Like, to me, I was like, no, this is not an apology. So she read it and she's like, yeah, this doesn't look like an apology. This looks like a statement to me. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm not just an asshole trying to defend somebody who I respect. So, I don't know. I mean, like, I was disappointed of the accusations to Todd Stevens, but I was also disappointed in how quickly people just took a left turn and completely denounced him without even knowing any facts.
Yeah, those facts come true. I mean, I'll change my tone, but
sure.
Again, there's been too many times in my life where I've just seen this just ruin people's lives, just absolutely ruin it. And
well, I mean, and you can't blame Star City Games for distancing themselves for it.
No.
I mean,
oh, shit. I can blame Star City Games for a lot of things. The pulling down of Jim Davis's article when it shouldn't have been pulled down. The sponsoring people that have been professional hitman in the past for like the Drew Levin incident. I mean, there's those Star City Games isn't any angels here. They tend to side with hysteria quite often.
And that's no different from any other corporate company.
Oh, it is very different from a lot of corporations. A lot of corporations just do the mature thing and completely stay out of it.
Whoa! I just saw the time. We've been talking all this time, and wow, we went past what I said I was going to go.
Star City Games thinks that there's no consequences for what they do. They're wrong. There's lots of consequences for it, and I won't be silent with stuff. I'm unsponsorable at this time in my life. I don't care. I could care less to be on the Good Boys Club anymore. I could care less if the professor's putting videos of me out there, or if I'm buddies with these content producers. That's the I got crucified for not condemning Jeremy Hambley. That was my sin. Wasn't even agreeing with him. It was not putting out a statement. They wanted me to put out a statement condemning him, and I refused to. And that's what got me blacklisted and my sponsorships taken away.
Wait, what do you mean they wanted you to put out a statement?
Cool Stuff Inc. told me that I had to put out a statement distancing myself from Jeremy Hambley.
Was that when you were on Gathering Magic?
I refused to, saying, hey, this has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to do it. And that's right after that. Then they gave me this like runaround that, oh, we're just going different directions. We're getting rid of all our content creators and some type stuff. But we know I've got the entire log, the entire transcript with it. But I've never released it because at what point does it become like petty? Same thing. I've dug in. There've been some things we've uncovered against certain personalities that I won't name here that are very damning stuff about it. And then at that point, it's
shit,
like, well,
he's got stuff on me.
Do I want to cause the divorce? Do I want to,
Whoa! What you got on me and my wife? Shit.
So again, there's a time to be the bigger man. It's the whole expression. This is a children's card game, but it's like half the community does fight extremely dirty, where they have no problem taking away your livelihood, your reputation. Getting you out of the game is at all costs, blaming you for the Pittsburgh shooting, all that kind of stuff. At what point am I just going to sit back and take it with it? So,
I mean, listen, if you're listening to Eli on Facebook, man, then he gets deleted regularly by people on the left.
Been after me for 2 years. The guy is. So just,
like, I don't. Every time I get in one with them, I always look back to try and see what it was, and the people who posted who are like, politically aligned with him are deleting his threads. Like, so I mean, he extrapolates a lot, I think, personally. Yeah. So I just don't even pay any attention to him, and I don't block anybody. That's funny because people block all kinds of people, and it's like I don't block anybody because I feel like, say what you gotta say, and I can make up my own mind. When your name gets retweeted by Tulane Community College and Ruben Bressler, as causing the Pittsburgh shooting, that's a that's some pretty strong words there. Just those two decided to retweet the we have no
place for hate like Rogue Deck Builder in this community. Okay, awesome. Glad you guys retweeted that.
What the fuck?
I
guess I missed that completely.
I'm just trying.
Yeah, I totally missed that. Wow.
No,
Jeez.
this war has been going on for a long time. There's a lot of petty stuff that's behind it. There's a lot of it. I don't know. It just seems like around the holiday season it just gets amped up too. And so I know we haven't
nothing
seen
to
the
look
end of
forward
it.
to.
Oh man.
Well, I mean,
That's a zinger.
Well, think about it. We just had a set come out, and we don't have anything to look forward to until the next Ravnica set. So obviously, this happens every time when there's a lull in the community. Something has to happen where someone gets crucified for something.
I'm counting my days. Eventually, I'll do something stupid, and I'll be gone from this community. But I've kind of made my peace with that, and I'm okay. I'm okay being a head on a chopping block.
So let's find a way to do a positive spin here to round this day.
Caught me out at a stressful time.
Let's end this round table with something good that's happening in your life right now. What's coming up next?
I like that.
Let's go ahead and start out with Mr. Zuby. What's going good in your life? What's coming next, and how can people find you?
What's going good in my life? I guess I'm going to Chicago later this month for the first time ever.
Nice.
So I'm kind of excited about that. I got to go to a big conference there for a week. And all I know from what everybody's telling me is it's going to be fucking gold.
All right. Where at? Because I'm in Chicago.
It's the RSNA. It's a radiology conference.
Got it.
And I'm going to be staying in a hotel called the Claridge House right next to the Navy Pier.
Yep. Nice place.
So yeah, that's where I'll be for a week.
Sweet. And then where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/magicwithzuby, on Twitter at magicwithzuby, on Instagram at magic_with_zuby. They can find my podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. And you can find me on YouTube if you search for Magic with Zuby. As you can tell, I do this many, many, many times.
And I'll try to make sure I get all of those in the description below when this goes live.
I can send it to you via DM if you want me to.
Oh, that would be great. Jody, how about you, buddy?
Oh man, this weekend I'm really excited to go to Vegas next weekend because I'm gonna be playing with Aaron Barrich and Tom Ross. Tom Ross coming back to Magic from Wizards. He's been working up there doing the play testing, and last time I played with him, we won a trophy. So I'm really excited to have the other bookend that I've been missing for a long time. And what else? This weekend I'm planning on not going to Star City Games regionals. Man, just being able to do stuff at home is awesome. I'll come to find out, it's like, man, you travel every other weekend. It's like, what am I going to do this weekend? Probably nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be awesome. Oh, they got a hot air balloon festival in New Orleans. It's the second time ever. I don't know. That's not a thing that has ever happened in New Orleans except last year. And last year it was too windy. We couldn't ride the balloon. So hopefully I'll be in an air balloon doing some selfies, which you can find on Twitter at Jody. Twitter, you can find me at JodyMFKeith. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/NolaGold. You can find me on Facebook, JodyMFKeith, and you can also find me, you can find me on YouTube /NolaGold. So check out my YouTube. I've been doing a lot of sweet things. The streams have been going great. So I'm really liking that. Been doing a lot of donation deck lists, but here's the key: I do them for free. So people, they can just donate the deck. They can put a deck list in, and every day it bumps up. And if people want to skip the line, who am I to stop them from throwing money at me? So it's been pretty good.
Nice.
Playing a lot of decks I never thought I would play because I don't play only certain decks, but there's certain style decks I like to play. So it's kind of broadening my range a little bit. So I like it, and all the videos go up on YouTube too. So I've been working on the YouTube game a little bit, so you can find me in all those places.
Sweet. All right, come on, Kev. I know you got something good.
Yeah, we need something good from this guy. Come on.
I found out this card exists.
Which one's that?
It's High Tide for black. Where's this been my entire life? It is bubbly muck.
Oh, okay. What was that? Urza's Destiny?
Whatever the vial is.
Yeah.
It's like that's
I
a
think
time
that's
point in my life
Destiny,
I
right?
didn't play
Yeah, that's
Magic,
Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah, the vial is Destiny.
Yeah, so been playing some Pauper with it, trying to revive Pauper because I'm a shill. So it's pretty fun though. That's been my latest exploration. Maybe I'll stream some Pauper here if I decide to load up MTGO. We'll see. I don't even know if my computer still has it on. It's been so long.
And then, well, we can find you on YouTube. Dude, have you started that new channel yet?
No, I mean I'll start the 17th channel pretty soon here.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been having more fun with my second channel. It's funny because the second channel is actually outperforming my main channel, which shows you that subs mean absolutely nothing in YouTube. So I don't know. I've been having a lot more fun with the finance or part of Magic than I have with actual, which is kind of sad because like you said before, Standard's kind of fun right now, but.
No.
We'll see. It's more of a timing thing, and the financial thing directly reflects on my bottom line, whereas playing Arena kind of is a time suck rather than a beneficial thing. So, yep. Yeah, you can find me on my two channels, Rogue Deck Builder or the Rogue Market, or on the Twatter, or on the Discord, or on where else am I? On the Facebook.
On the Facebook and on your website, Rogue. Was it Gone Rogue Games or is it RogueDeckBuilder.com?
Rogue Deck Builder.
Okay.
Gone Rogue Games is just a shell of a TCG player site right now. We don't use it.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
Well, I want to thank again Zuby, Jody, Kevin coming on and having some conversation, some fun, some low times, some high times, and some great stories. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for having us.